is that there is waste across the board. 20 years ago or 15 years ago, we had the Grace Commission and it looked at all spending. They found $500 hammers and abuses within the military spending. We can't say that the military gets a blank check and then it's a rubber stamp for Republicans and we believe in defense by God and they get whatever they want. That is a recipe for disaster, and that's why the deficit has exploded. You have to say that there are problems across the board, domestic spending as well as military spending, and you may have to change some of your philosophy. You have to reassess the philosophy of who should pay for the defense of Japan, who should pay for the defense of Germany. There may have been a time for having a strong NATO there to oppose the Soviet Union, but I think that most of these countries are on their feet now, are economically able to defend themselves. It doesn't mean we can't be allies or that we can't still oppose tyranny when we see it, but we need to know that we're becoming bankrupt as a country. People often point this out and they say, well, this is just an academic question, the deficit, what government does, it's all academic. I think the recent panic shows people that it is no longer an academic question. Many people lost half of their savings in the stock market. Many people predict that the deficit now will be paid in generation after generation and passed down to our children and grandchildren, which is true. But what I fear more is that we will pay for this deficit through inflation. There's been a massive amount of money put into the economy through the Federal Reserve, and I think inevitably when it reaches the economy and begins filtering through the economy, there will be price inflation. This could mean, and this is a prediction but not a guarantee, this could mean that we might see a time like 1979 when interest rates went to 20%, inflation was about the same. We have to be worried about what's going to happen. Could there be an ultimate panic? People say, oh, you're crazy, you're just doomsday. They would have said this a year ago, and not one of them predicted the housing bubble. Not one of them predicted the crisis that's coming. We have to be ready, but we have to decide what we want from the government. And if we have our hands out and we just want some project just for us or our family or somebody we know who has a government contract, we're not going to get there. We need to look at government as something to protect our freedoms. We need to decide that we want government to be limited, to be a constitutional republic again, and we need to decide to take our government back. I think there's a movement afoot. We had a tea party in Bowling Green. We had, some said 700 people there. We're a much smaller town than Lexington. Keith Olbermann said, it's a bunch of Fox stooges and shills for the Republican Party. But I think he misses it completely. I was there and I know most Republicans in town, and it was not organized by Republicans. It was organized by regular working folks who were just mad about how much money is coming out of their check and what's just going to happen. But they're also smart enough to say that, and to know that it's not just about their taxes. They're upset about the deficit. They're upset about overreaching government. But we have to do something about it. People in this room need to go forward and do something. There will be something for you to do, whether it's the Students for Liberty or whether it's a political race. There is something out there for you to do, but my prediction is if you sit idly by and watch, it's going to be much worse. There could well be things that come out of this that will lead to civil unrest, that will lead to times where you have skyrocketing inflation. We need to get our government back, but we're not getting it back from the traditional politicians. We need to find people outside of government. We need to find new and fresh faces to look to, and we all need to get involved. And I never thought I'd be standing up here with the UK banner, Misters is gone. But I do appreciate the invitation, UK, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm trying to hide my t-shirt I've got on. But I'll, at this point, entertain any questions if you'd like to have any questions from the